Hey guys, Danny Explosion back here again, and today I wanted to make a top 10 list of my all-time, well currently at the moment, death metal albums. But first, before I do that, I just want to make some honorable mentions that almost made this list. First one is The Left Hand Path by Entombed. That was a really awesome album. I'd say it's in my top 10, but it just cut this close to making top 5. It's a Swedish death metal classic, and if you get a chance or you never listened to Entombed, definitely check them out. Next is Deicide's debut album. That isn't also another death metal classic, but was always cut too short. Almost made my top 10, but you know, I mean, it's still a really good death metal album. It's just that, well, not really my favorite, but it was still a good album. Next is Cancer's Death Shall Rise. I would have put that album in my top 10, but, you know, I don't own the physical album, and to me the album was too short. If it was a little bit longer, it would be in my top 5. Next is Diabolical Conquest by Incantation. Another awesome death metal album, but just like I said before, cut too short. And Incantation releases some really awesome stuff, so if you ever get a chance to check out Incantation, definitely check them out. Next is Immolation's Dawn of Possession. Usually I'm not a fan of technical death metal, but this was a really good album, in my opinion, but the tone of the album was too muddy for my taste, but it was still an awesome album to listen to. Check that out. Next is Slaughter of the Weak by Jungle Rot. Some good old war death metal. Definitely check those guys out. Next is Aborted's Global Flatline. I would have added this to the top 10, but it's Death Grind, so I didn't add it to the list. Same with Monolith of Inhumanity by Cal Decapitation. I would have added to the list, but it was still Death Grind. Alright, let's get to the list. Number 10 is Dechristianized by Vile Remains. Awesome, badass album. I'd really love to own one of these days. I don't know why I don't have it. Like, tracks range average about like a 5-6 minutes average each song, but they do not bore you at all. The best time for Vile Remains is when Glenn Benton was in the band. He did a great job with them. So definitely check that album out if you ever listened to it. Okay, number 9 is Like an Ever-Flowing Stream by Dismember. Awesome, awesome Swedish death metal. This is a Swedish death metal classic and beloved by death metalers all over the world. It's just got that signature Swedish death metal tone that everybody loves, and it's such a great album that I love to own one of these days. So definitely check out Dismember. Alright, number 8 is Killing on Adrenaline by Dying Fetus. Dying Fetus is a great technical death metal band that blends brutality and technicality in a perfect mix. I love Dying Fetus. Killing on Adrenaline is the first album I ever listened to them. And, you know, it's Gallagher's vocals are just so deep and guttural. I love them. The drum work on here is epic and pummeling, and the guitar work is just fantastic. So definitely check out these guys if you haven't. Next is Effigy of the Forgotten by Suffocation. Another great tech death metal band that actually does technical death metal right. I mean, everything about this album is just crazy. I mean, the drumming's just insane. The guitar work is heavy. And Frank Mullen's vocals were just outstanding and signature as always. Great, great album. I love to buy one of these days, but sadly I don't have the money yet. But yeah, definitely check out Suffocation if you get a chance to. Very great band. Next is my favorite album from these guys. This is Death's Leprosy. Fantastic death metal album by Death. This is my personal favorite from them. It used to be Spiritual Healing, but this grew on me way more now. Chuck's signature vocals on here is awesome. Love his vocals. His guitar work, Chuck Schuldner's guitar work on here is pretty good. Then has Rick Rozz from Massacre on here, which, you know, the Floyd Rose wailin' Rick Rozz, I mean, does a really good job on here. And every single track is so entertaining to me and so classic that, you know, this had to be on the list because this is a death metal classic. Next is Annihilation of the Wicked by Nile. I don't own any albums from Nile, and it makes me sad. But Annihilation of the Wicked is awesome album. I mean, it's so heavy, so technical at some points. George Kalias' drum work is just fucking insane on that album. I fucking love it. Vocals are good. They sing about Egyptian stuff. That's what makes Nile so signature. I actually enjoy Egyptian mythology. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to buy that album one of these days. I'd love to, because Nile is one of my favorite tech bands that actually do it right. So, yep, that's Annihilation of the Wicked. Next, Morbid Angel, Covenant. Awesome stuff. Because it's not all fast-paced on this album. There's some songs like Rule the Shit or God of Emptiness where it just slows down and it goes so fucking mid-paced but heavy as fuck. And like Pete Sandoval's drum work on here was fucking insane as always because it's, you know, it's Pete Sandoval or Dovel, I don't know how to say his name. Trey Azagthoth's guitar work is, you know, he's Trey Azagthoth. His guitar work's always fucking awesome. And it's one of the first death metal albums I ever listened to. And this fucking almost blew my brains all over my wall. That's how fucking awesome this album was. Next. Hold on. Next. Necrocracy from Exhumed. Usually these guys do gore grind and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you want to be a genre Nazi and say they're gore grind, I mean, I don't really care. But this was a different approach with this album because usually they did kind of like grindcore kind of stuff. But then they released this and definitely changed it all. And they did a fucking great work on this album. Every single song on here is pummeling, in your face. Like, drum work is excellent. And the guitar work for this album was just like, you sit there and you just pay attention to it and just wondering like, wow. That's how the guitar work is on this album. And I love albums with really good guitar work because it inspires me to maybe try some stuff out on my guitar. But you know, this album is one of my favorite death metal albums of all time for a while now, and this still kicks my ass every single time I listen to it. Good stuff. Next, Obituary, The End Complete. One of the most signature death metal bands ever. This album is so fucking heavy. I mean, one of the heaviest death metal bands I ever listened to is Obituary. Fucking great stuff from these guys. I mean, John Tardy's vocals are signature as always. Donald Tardy's drum work is amazing. Lead rhythm guitar work in here is fucking awesome as all hell. And this inspired me so much to play death metal guitar from this album because this album touched my life in many ways that I don't really want to describe right now. Next. I'm sorry. This is currently my favorite death metal album at the moment, but it's been at the moment for the past 2 years now. Dying Fetus Reign Supreme. Holy fucking shit. This is everything I wanted in a death metal album. Technicality and brutality, guttural vocals, and audible bass. This motherfucker has it all. This was such a great album, this one. I mean, I actually met John Gallagher at Summer Slaughter 2014 last year, and he was a really cool dude. I didn't have any Dying Fetus CDs on me at the time. I regret it, because I would have got this signed. But, dude, every single track is just fucking brutal, pummeling, whatever you want to describe it. This, I had to change my pants twice. I had to listen to this album. Once for shitting in them, and another time for jizzing in them. That's how fucking good this album was. I listened to this hundreds of times, literally hundreds of times, and never got bored of it. It always felt like I was listening to this album for the first time. Alright guys, that is it for my first top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want, I'm not saying you have to, but if you want, show me in the comments below what's your favorite top 10 death metal albums. Like, comment, subscribe if you want, and as always, keep it metal.